Best Agent's primary objective is to promote the value that good agents add to both sellers and private landlords, as opposed to institutional landlords. Which is a struggle because the media paints them in such a bad light that there's always this isn't it fun to bash estate agents? But actually, that's a counterproductive thing because, as I suspect you know, when you find a great agent, they're worth their weight in gold, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm still working with agents that I started my portfolio investment career back from 2004. So I've got a couple of agents where I've been working with them for over 18 years, and I regard them as a partner in my business.
So the question I've got to ask you is this: what I know, because of what I've been doing for the last 20 years, plus more recent research and the people who've actually used Best Agent to sell their house and have had outstanding results, is, can you share your experience of the difference between, let's just disregard the rogue agents and the bad agents, but the difference between an ordinary agent and a great agent? Because I'm trying to promote to the consumer, to property owning consumers, whether they're selling or renting, that the best decision is always to go the extra mile to find that agent that's going to really look after you. And what's the difference as a property owner between finding that person that just takes care of you and just being one of a number of an agent that's got, do you see what I mean? So the difference between an average agent and a great agent from a landlord's point of view, because I've seen that there's this rapid rise of sites like Open Rent that are allowing consumers to just rent out their own property and avoid using an agent. And there are a lot of agents who don't do themselves any favour by being very crap. There just are plenty of crap agents. And first-time landlords won't know how to tell the difference between a crap agent and a great agent. But I would love, because you're obviously very experienced as a landlord, you've worked with agents. What would your advice be to someone, especially a first-time landlord who's found themselves in a position for whatever reason that they want to rent out their home?
Well, there's a very long thread on Property Tribes about how to vet a letting agent and why you should, which I started many years ago, and it's been added to and added to. I think, first of all, that there's a few key things for me. First of all, always look for an agent that has the mandatory legal requirements to operate as an agent, and that means being a member of an independent redress scheme. There are two of them. There's the Property Ombudsman and the Property Redress Scheme, and all letting agents have to be members of those independent redress schemes. It's mandatory, as I said. So they have to display the logo of the scheme that they're a member of on their website and also in their premises. Additional to that, I tend to look for agents who have voluntarily committed to higher standards, such as being a member of an industry body such as ALA, the Association of Residential Letting Agents, or another one is Safe Agent. That they don't have to be members of those organisations, those trade bodies, but they have voluntarily committed to higher professional standards because these organisations offer training and so on. So those are two key things. A third for me, just on a personal level, is communication. I want agents to actively and proactively communicate with me, and if I get in touch with them, I want a response within 24 hours. And it's important that I get that because it's also an indication of how they might respond to my tenant. So I want agents to be very easily contactable and very proactive in contacting me if I need something or I've left a message or something of that nature. So communication for me is one of the fundamental things. The next thing I would say is I like agents that come to me. There is a problem, but they've already come up with the solution. So my example of that might be, I'm just refurbing a flat in London and the agent went there and the fridge was in a very bad condition, or a lot of the bits inside were missing, you know, the things in the drawers and things like that. It was very hard to clean. It hadn't been looked after. It was not working properly. The agent wrote to me with some photos of the fridge inside and out and said, look, Vanessa, I think you're going to have to replace the fridge now. It's not up to scratch, but these are the fridges I've researched that fit in that space. Here's one for, you know, 230, here's one for 240, here's one for 280. Which one do you want to go to? And then for me, it's just very easy to say, actually, I'd like to go for that one. Or, you know, I may have my own supplier that I want to use, and then I say, well, could you go and order it from this person because I've worked with them before. So I like agents that when they come with a problem, they've already thought of the solution.
Absolutely.
And I think the final thing is they are an agent, and what an agent does, it represents you. So I want my agents to treat my tenants in the same manner that I would treat my tenants if I was directly engaged with them. So I want agents that are respectful to tenants, and who you know, are going to be understanding if there's a problem. You know, if somebody doesn't pay the rent on time, you don't jump in with your size 9 straight away. You get in touch with the tenant and you say, look, I notice, you know, you haven't paid this month. Is there a problem? Is there anything I can do to help you? You know, it could be a completely legitimate reason why they haven't paid. It could be anything, you know, there's been issues with banks, and or their business was late paying them, or whatever it might be. Perfectly legitimate reasons. It could be that they've had a bereavement, or, you know, some kind of crisis has happened in their life and they've dropped the ball a bit. That's not a reason to, you know, jump on them. You need to find out what's going on, and you need, again, to, in the first instance, to show compassion and empathy and see what you can do to help them through this difficult patch. And when you work with people like that, they want to continue working with you, and it often strengthens the bond between landlord and tenant and agent if you can all work through this difficult period, particularly, you know, when the tenant has been there for 3 or 4 years and they've paid the rent every single time on time, every single month for 4 years, and then they miss a payment. There's probably going to be a legitimate reason behind that, and you need to be able to get in touch with them, and just sound out what the problem is. So those would be my key things, what I look for in an agent. And, you know, some agents haven't been up to scratch, and when I've had a tenant changeover, I've taken the opportunity to move away and find a better agent.